Can we just start? Good evening, councillors and Nina. This is the meeting of the Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival. Have we got any apologies for absence?
We've received apologies from Councillor Dorothy Lord.
Thank you. Declaration of interest. Anybody got any interests of our business this evening? No. We've got minutes of the meeting to approve those. They were from the 7th of April and the 24th of February. You should have a copy. Is there anyone who got any issues with those? No. Can we have someone who proposed those, please? I'll take Ian as proposer and Anthony as a seconder. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Co-option, to consider candidates for co-option onto the Blues Festival Advisory Committee for 25-26. Do we have any people? I
think technically we.
I thought Nina and Sam.
No, because it's the new. No. It's the new council year. Right. So it's 2 representatives of Colne Blues Society.
Right. Well, we've got
named people.
We've got Nina here, and would you like to propose Simon as well?
I just propose 2 members of Colne Blues Society, and then if for whatever reason Nina or Simon can't attend, another could attend in their place.
Okay.
Or in their stead,
right.
As we say.
Is that everybody that Nina and Simon, and if they can't come, that someone else comes? Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. Marketing update, Nathan.
So Scott Dawson Advertising have done several press releases about the full lineup that's now been confirmed and been put out on social media. About Barnfield becoming the headline sponsor again for this year's festival. They've also been announcing and getting to know your artist as well on social media to go through each act on the main stages, which they're getting quite a good response across social media, which is great. They're doing some paid promotional activity as well on social media, so they're doing some sponsored posts, which always get a really good response as well. They've done a mail shot recently to have a boost of ticket sales when we announced the full confirmed lineup, which worked really well. I know that they're planning on doing several videos, several interviews, banners around Lancashire, adverts in various blues-based magazines, and they'll be doing more press releases and everything as we approach the festival and get closer and closer. So I can expect in the next 6 to 8 weeks a big increase in marketing and PR for the festival as we obviously get closer and closer.
Anybody got any?
Yeah. I'm just. I know Scott Dawson do a good thing and all the, but because we won the Small Business Award last year. Has that been included in the press release?
Small business.
Well,
the UK Blues Based Festival. Yeah. It has been mentioned.
Obviously, we've got that.
Yeah.
It's on the poster as well to say that obviously we won the award last year.
Any other anybody else want to say anything?
Scrolling through the Facebook page of the Great British Rhythm and Fuse, yes, that there, and there are a lot. I mean, I don't know what how many page impressions and all the rest of it gets, but there have been an awful lot since the beginning of May.
Right.
But
Okay.
do we know what reach they get?
I can tell you. In the last 7 days, we've reached 23.9k people on Facebook.
With the posts?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that includes shared posts and reposting on the,
Yeah, so that includes when people share the post, how many people have clicked onto it, how many people have spent longer than, I think it's 30 seconds on that post. And that's all organic as well, so there's no paid within that. So it's all
No,
organic from the post that we've put out.
it's just as I scrolled back up to the top. Oh, I suppose 13,000 followers on that page, plus everybody else. Yeah, it's more than I thought.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Can I ask if they'll be going round the shops and getting posters up and all that business?
Yeah, so they'll be doing the shop local scheme again, where they'll go around the businesses and get people from the businesses to take photos with the posters, and we'll probably get Simon involved again
Yeah.
in the video, just to encourage people that are coming for the festival to shop local. And obviously there'll be a QR code on the poster for people to get the tickets as well if they want to.
Right. Can I just ask about do we advertise the fringe venues and the bands that are playing on those as well?
On the posters,
No, well, is there any on Facebook? Is there any Scott Dawson things that said, just give a list of all the
I'm
fringe?
pretty sure we do. Pretty sure as we get close to the festival and we've got through all the main stage acts, we then start promoting it. Obviously who's playing in the fringe venues, but the priority is the main stage, getting
Yes, oh,
people
absolutely.
to buy the
Get
ticket and
paid.
get into the venues.
Yeah. I was just wondering, Nina, do you know the Muni? Where are they doing their fringe? Is it going to be in the main hall?
No, they've booked the Albert Room is going to be an official fringe venue.
Right. And what they're doing in the main bit?
As far as I'm aware, nothing.
Nothing.
I'd be very surprised if nothing went on. I'm sure that will be open. There'll be something going on, but nothing that they've advertised.
Right.
And just to answer your question about fringe venues and fringe bands, obviously you've got the Blues Festival website, which focuses on the official main stages. You've also got the Combe Blues Society Facebook page, which focuses on the fringe, and the two rub along together, sort of cross-pollinating, cross-publicising each other. And obviously, as it gets nearer, there's more crossover occurs.
I've seen the blues one, but I think I saw the Blues Society ones last year, but I haven't seen any yet this year that pop up on my feed.
No, they've not started rolling out yet.
Okay.
The band ones haven't yet.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. Okay. Anything else about that?
I've just pressed on the button on the Great British Rhythm and Blues page to see what happens. Because it says shop now, and it sent me to 2022.
Oh.
Sends to a wrong page, I think.
So that's the shop now button on the Facebook page.
Yeah. Well, certainly on the one that's come up on the phone.
That is one. That'd be. Anything else on the marketing? I mean, Scott Dawson's very good. They're much better than the ones that we had whenever 2019. Then from Brighton. Tickets. How are we doing with those?
So this year we've introduced a Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening ticket, as well as obviously a full day Saturday ticket as well for some, and we've done the same for Sunday as well, which seems to be working quite well. But they are capped, so not everyone can get only an afternoon or an evening if they're wanting to only go see a handful of bands. But so far we've had 257 ticket sales and 70 camping pictures sold.
Is that more or less than last year?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
We have been slightly behind on last year. We've just caught up. The latest news brought us up level with previous years.
Good. Excellent.
It will also be very interesting to see if they do sell very well, because if they don't, then it's a good answer to all those people saying you should have an afternoon ticket. Well, here you go. We've got one. It's on offer. And buy it.
Mm. Yes, Andy.
Yeah, it's a quick one. How are we going to police that then? Because obviously you've got the full weekend, you've got part weekend, you've got a day one. Now we're introducing a new, day or evening. How would that be? I say you use the word police. It's going to be. How is it going to be?
So
That's what I was asking for. Is how is it going to be policed?
So
it's your wristband, isn't it?
there'll be a interval at each main stage for approximately an hour. But when there's the interval on at, say, the Hippodrome, there'll be still bands on at the little theatre in the Exchange. So we're hoping that people will just leave the venue and go to the main stages, because obviously there'll be nothing on in that hour. Security will then do a sweep of the building, just see if there's anyone with a afternoon wristband on, and they'll ask them to make their way out of the building because their session is finished. And that's just the way we'll do it. We're hoping it'll be kind of natural, because obviously there's nothing on for that hour. There'll only be a small handful that'll stay in the venue. But the security will do a sweep.
Yeah. On that note, are we going to have a poster to go to each, or posters to go to each venue? They'll say, if you've got the gold for the full weekend, or you've just got the Saturday, you've got a particular. So there's actually colour coordinated there. So at least whoever's inside can say, "Oh, sorry, you've only got."
Well, they won't get in. They should. All the paying venues should have security on the door.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, is there going to be? Because we don't know what the security firm are going to be like. Are they going to give the right information?
So when the security get briefed every single day, they'll get a A5 slip, and it'll say, these are the wristbands that we're accepting today. So you'll obviously have your full festival, which will be the same Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll have 3 different colours for the Saturday. So you'll have one for your afternoon, one for your evening, and one for your all day, and they're completely different colours. So
could we actually then get to each location, the 3 venues, that we get them? It doesn't have to be a glossy A4, but an A4 with the colours on, with the times on, the days, so that they're actually in the venue then. It'll help
do
us.
that, because if it's
In past years, there has been not a glossy fancy thing, but just an A4 piece with a photocopy that says afternoon, blah blah blah. So I mean that they do that to help their people. I mean the difficult one will be the Hippodrome, of course, because you can get in about 3 different ways. But
there's only one entrance to the Hippodrome when the festival's on.
you just do the top bar.
Just the top entrance now, But we can have a look at putting an A4 sign in the venue, just so
it just helps those who are working there. It'll also help the security as a reminder that it's visible, and it also reminds the visitors
they'll have a reminder when I turn up 5 minutes before interval and say, right, remember you need to get people out that have finished the session. But yeah, we'll have a look at signs. to be
Yeah.
fair.
No, we only need them in the little theatre, the
Across the road,
exchange
yeah.
and here. So it'll be fine. Volunteer update.
So we've sent emails out to volunteers just to gain some interest from volunteers of who wants to get involved with the festival. We've had quite a few responses back like we normally do of the regular team of volunteers that get involved every year. They'll still get all the same perks. So for every 8 hours of volunteering, they'll get a free day ticket. They'll get fed. They'll get watered, and they'll get a lovely volunteer T-shirt as well. So we've gained interest from volunteers, and probably in the next 4 weeks, we'll send out a rota of these are the volunteering tasks available. Please let us know which ones you want to do, and then we can start putting people down for volunteering shifts. Obviously, we have a set team in the box office because obviously it's handling quite a large amount of money, and you're responsible for tickets and merchandise. We always have the same team in the box office, but for like litter picking, giving out programs, merchandise sales, and all the other various roles, we'll obviously send a list out and say, right, this is what we've got. What can you do, sort of thing.
Alice.
Just to say that the Waterside Action Group will be happy to go out on the Saturday and the Sunday for litter picking. Might get Friday, but I'm not sure about that.
That's
And
lovely.
there's probably about 8 people.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chair, I'll be available for
A volunteer-
merchandising.
Oh, merchandise, yeah, volunteer. That's Patricia. What about Ian?
Sorry, I was miles away.
Are you going to volunteer?
I always do.
Yeah.
We do have to remind councillors that volunteer that sitting in the box office not doing all isn't classed as volunteering, because I think last year there were 5 councillors in there as well as the 4 volunteers, and it got a little bit crammed and you couldn't get in and out. So if any councillors do want to volunteer, we can't have
No.
as many councillors in the box office as there has been in previous years.
I'll be stewarding as usual, walking up and down.
Super, thank you.
Are you? Will you be around, Anthony? You went footballs on, yeah. Well, remember to ask him. Yeah, and we'll ask all our other councillors as well, because it's we need as many. You can never have enough volunteers at a 3-day event like we do. So yeah.
Super, I'll get Kaylee to send you an email.
Right. The next thing is operational elements of the festival.
Sorry,
Items to be updated. Road closures first.
So we're going with the same road closure plan as last year. So last year we introduced a temporary taxi rank at the bottom end of town, one for Hackney taxis and one for private hire taxis. We work with taxi licensing to get notices out to the firms across Pendle, just to let them know this is what the plan is, and then they got a reminder letter a couple of weeks before, and comments from the police and taxi licensing said it worked quite well, especially on the Saturday and Sunday when obviously there's a big increase of people coming in and out of town. So we've arranged with the traffic management company we'll do the same plan as last year. And then we'll also have a couple of stewards down there just making sure taxis are parking at the right day and not blocking road closures and parking where they want.
We've got security.
Security, so we've changed firm from the firm we've been using for the past number of years. So we've changed to a firm that's quite well known across the area. They've got quite a good reputation. And we're very confident that they'll be able to exceed expectations for the weekend. So all the security has been booked. So we've got 3 members of security on the Hippodrome, 3 on the Exchange project, 3 on the Little Theatre, We've got 6 roaming up and down the high street in pairs of 2. We've got stewards either end of the road closure to make sure no one's coming through the road closure, and there'll be a vehicle there as well. And then we've got 3 on the town hall and 1 in the box office as well. So we've got a big team of security over the weekend. And like I say, we've changed company and we're very confident that there won't be any issues and all expectations will be exceeded. And we're saving quite a lot of money.
First aid.
All the first aid provisions have been
Yeah.
booked. So it's the same team that we've used for the past number of years. So first aid point will be here, but obviously they'll get out of the town hall and walk up and down, and all the event management, security and first aid will all be on the same radio frequency. So any incidents can be dealt with as quickly as possible.
Waste management.
So we've negotiated with Pendle Borough Council on having their team assist with the waste management provision for the festival. They did try to put the price up quite a lot, but we negotiated and said this is what the budget is and we can't do any more than that. And eventually we all came to an agreement. So we've got the same arrangement as last year, and we'll put posters, signs on the different coloured bins just to make sure that people that aren't from Pendle know what bins for what. So we'll sellotape them to the bin, but we have to take them off Sunday night, just so they're not going back to Pendle with them on.
Alice, you wanted to talk about waste management.
Yes, as you say, for the brown bins, every year we have a lot of brown bins outside St John's, whole bank of them, and a lot outside St Bart's, whole bank of them. They might actually be their own brown bins, I don't know. But if possible, can we have more brown bins next to the litter bins? So, we in the past, Waterside Action Group, have gone round and sellotaped what's a recycling bin. So if you want that job doing by a volunteer, we're happy to do that.
Oh wow, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Pendle Council, brilliant during the morning, getting everything sorted. However, early morning, cleaning up. However, during Saturday, saw them in the morning from 9 o'clock to 12, going up and down, changing bins and things. Didn't see them at all after midday. So I don't know what the hours are or what they should be doing.
I think last year there were a little bit of complications with I think the team that were working it had not been told fully what needed to be done, because we were there in the morning until 1 o'clock, and then they meant to go on a break, and the different teams meant to come in from, I think it's at the 5 or 6 o'clock, but the team that came in the evening had been told they can't take the wagon through to empty the bins, which obviously caused issues where they've always gone through with member of security front and back just to make sure we can get through, get the bins emptied, and then we can go and empty the wagon.
Sorry. It was the 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock period that we just didn't see people, and that's the time when if you lose it, you've lost the war basically, and it's getting the bins emptied. That's the issue. We don't pull the actual bin liners out, because if you do that, you just get covered in liquid. So what we do is we take out, and then we've still got the bin liners. But we were hoping to see actual professionals coming around and doing that, but we didn't from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I think we saw the bin lorry trying to get up, but I don't know whether they could or not. And also the hotspot is down at the guitar shop. If we can have something down there. I know that there's generally a large skip trolley on the other side, but if anything can be put on that side, even if it's in the back street or that would be quite useful.
Is that outside Luandy's?
Yeah,
Luandy's,
yeah,
yeah.
that is a
Luandy's
really
cake up and the venue and everything.
hotspot.
So we
And
said 2 skips, orange skips.
yeah, there's usually one on the other side,
Yeah.
but getting getting across there can be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Alice has obviously got some experience in this, and do you think putting one of the temporary bins beside the fixed bins
Yeah,
would
yeah.
work
Well,
better?
they put sometimes they put temporary bins all the way up, and sometimes they use the actual fixed bin. But I'd quite like to see recycling next to the ordinary bins. I'm not saying it'll work, but at least it's given the option.
So if we asked Pendle to provide us with some extra brown bins and for them to chain them to the fixed
Yeah,
bins.
yeah, and not have all of them at St John's,
Right,
and not have them all at St Bart's.
right.
Yeah.
That's fine, we can ask a question.
Okay, thank you.
Street entertainment.
So we've got various bits of street entertainment booked. We've got either Musical Roof Elton Wrong on the Saturday. They're not available on the Sunday, unfortunately. We've got the Blues Brothers Stiltwalkers. They'll be back this year. We've got Mirror Men. We've got LED light up Stiltwalkers for the evening. We've got Fire Breathers. We've got a 360-degree photo booth, which we had last year, and it worked very well.
Are we going to have the piano?
Yes, so we'll either have Musical Roof Elton Wrong on the Saturday. We're just waiting to find out which one.
The piano that was outside St. Box that people just, like the piano that they have in railway stations that people can just sit down and play. Well, they had that last year.
I had no idea about that, but yeah.
That'd be good. We might find another Mozart or don't know about or another Winifred Atwill or somebody.
We are still looking at a couple of options for street entertainment because we had a.
Can we have Barrowford Community Choir back?
They're performing over the weekend.
They were really good.
We've had a couple of suggestions from Colne Blue Society for some other street entertainment, which when we've looked at, they look very good. So we're just waiting to hear back from them to see if they can do the date and what the fee is. But we are looking at a couple of different options just to bring something new, bring something different that you don't tend to see, and obviously create a good festival vibe.
Yes, Alice.
Are we having anything around the Muni? If they don't do anything, it seemed to be just a sort of bit of a wasteland in that section. Perhaps we don't really want to advertise down there.
If they've got any sense, they'll put chairs out and have a bar. I would think. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Outside the Muni, there's a hot food vendor pitch which has been filled. Say that again. We've got buskers, and I'm pretty sure we've got 3 festival traders down there doing like festival hair, festival glitter. We'll have the face painters down there as well.
Yeah. Oh, the other one as well as the community choir, there was some. It was like a jazz. About 5 of them from Hull, and that would be something that you know.
It'll be the buskers outside the Muni.
No, outside here. You know, they were under the. It was like there were people on all day, weren't there? The community choir, and then there were like Teaspoon and somebody else doing something, and a lady, and then there was like about maybe 5 musicians from Hull who were more doing some like jazz and bits of stuff like that, which were very popular. So a big crowd. Yes.
I'd like to go back to the road traffic management because you just powered straight in through there, Chair. Obviously, last year we were having lots of problems with people going through barriers that were shut, and then we also had problems where roads were shut when they should have been opened. Are we going to be getting on top of traffic management this year to say, please have particular roads that can be opened for when they should be.
I think it was the year before we had the issues.
We had it last year as well because I got called out Saturday
Which
morning.
roads were it?
Windy Bank on the Saturday. The road was kept shut.
So Windy Bank is you can't come up Windy Bank.
No, but that's what I'm saying is they got told that the main road was open, which it was, but Windy Bank had been left with barriers across.
Or was this between 2 a.m. and 10 a.m.?
Yes. Whilst I was there after 10 o'clock, somebody had actually opened the barrier on Windy Bank, drove up. I don't know if they were drunk or high, one of the two. When I asked them to take the car back down Windy Bank and I'll close it down afterwards, they decided to go down, turn down by B's knees, obviously against the flow of traffic, if there was any traffic, parked up and did a runner. But then on Sunday, there was social media posts from the police asking people not to go through the road closed.
We are looking and we are having chats with traffic management at the moment to just see what other options there are. So instead of the chapter 8 barriers that if there's a bit of breeze, they just fall over, people can move them easily. We're looking at a couple of different options for areas that we know people tend to open and get through, to if we can look at putting water barriers there or something to prevent people being able to lift and move them. But obviously we can't do it on all of them because we do need to remain access for emergency services, but that's something we're looking at. You can get big barriers that they're filling with water. We are looking at those as well, just to.
I mean, one of the reasons, apart from safety, is we had that incident recently in Liverpool where somebody's waved through. The last thing we need is actually vehicles able to move barriers or go up on the footpath to drive round. I think it's something we really do need to crack down on for this year.
Be more vigilant, yeah.
And the other one I actually have was actually linked to the buskers actually. I had a report last year where somebody turned up, they were booked into busk, and the people they spoke to, might be security, wasn't aware where they're supposed to go. So if you've got anybody that's coming for busking, if they haven't got a clue where they're supposed to go, if they can go to the office downstairs, or at least a central focal point to know where they're supposed to be going to.
They are notified in writing with a map as to where they're supposed to be.
It's just.
And they were also told that if for any reason those gazebos are taken down, for example, they are taken down if the wind picks up, they are free to choose their own spot as long as they give consideration to other performances in the area so that they're not starting a noise war with an existing venue.
Okay. I was going to say, if you can just let security know wherever is walking up and down, just say, go to that location, they'll be able to help you. That's it for me.
Okay.
Toilets.
Toilets.
So all the toilets have been booked for this year. So we'll have. Last year we changed the toilet plan slightly. So instead of using Queen Street car park, we closed the junction of Princess Street off, and we put 5 portable toilets there, and we fenced it off. It was a request from the venue at the time because the queue that they were having for their toilet was just too much for the venue to handle, and they pointed out that having the toilets on Queen Street, they're not directly in sight for anyone in that area, whereas if they're on the edge of the junction, people can see them, they're more likely to use them. And when I've spoke to the guys down at Tubbs, they said it did work a lot better, and it also means there's another car park open for people to park on. So we'll be doing that again this year, which has been put in the traffic management plan for down there. We'll have 2 portable toilets somewhere near the Muni. We haven't decided exactly where yet, but it'll be somewhere in the middle section of the town. We'll have a toilet trailer. We're hoping to put it at the top of Exchange Street. But if it's not, it'll be on our car park like we did last year, which it was a lot nicer than a portable, but it's because we've only got a disabled and gents downstairs. And then we'll have 2 portable toilets on Newmarket Street as well. And those will be cleaned and emptied on the Saturday and the Sunday as well. So all the toilet provisions have been booked.
Alice?
I'm not sure whether it was a toilet or something else, but there was, I think it was a toilet near the Titanic bed. Is that correct? But
yeah, there was
whatever
It was to the left-hand side in front of the wall, so it wasn't blocking the bed or the statue. It was to the left-hand side.
Unfortunately, it was right where the information was. So people couldn't actually access and see what the information was, which I thought was a little bit of a shame. So if you do decide to put one there or 2, if you can just place it not in front of the Titanic bed or Wallace Hartley or the information.
Well, that's why we've said location's not been decided.
Yeah. So,
but it'll make sense when we get to item 11 as well.
Oh, yes, Patricia.
I'm going back up to first aid. Because like before, you were able to do it quickly. I know I've asked it for the last couple of years. Safe space, just in case. Have we got safe spaces? I know we had last year. I think we had the Citadel, and we had the other little place just around the corner there by the buses.
Was
the first start place. Yeah. Have they got those booked, and have we got any others? Thank you.
Not yet, but I will make it priority for this week to send emails and see if they're happy to get involved again. I'm pretty confident that St Bart's, the Citadel, the Family Hub will get involved, but I'll get that sorted this week.
Can I just ask about the fair? And that it won't be like 100 decibels uptown. When there's nobody on, when they have to open in the morning, they have it on it like ridiculous.
We will. The fair's been booked, but we will make it known to them that checks will be had throughout the weekend just to see what level the sound's at, and obviously if it's above the acceptable, then they'll be told they need to turn it down, and if they fail to keep it under a safe level, they'll get told to turn it off completely.
Because we were walking down before the afternoon, before the Blues Festival were going on, and we stopped and we went and said, could they turn it down because there's the older people in Peter Birtwistle House and everything. He didn't want it so he couldn't hear it, but I mean, it was really, it was hurting your eardrums, and we just got abuse, really.
We'll put it in writing, and when we send them their invoice, we'll put it on the bottom as terms and conditions. So.
Yeah, as you can regulate complaint because they have to close the back door because obviously and they had a lot of complaints. The crowd said, I went in on the Wednesday after that on the balloons last year, and I got the manager there. Can you turn that music down?
Yeah. Right. Anything else on that? No.
Well, talking of the noise, I'm sure Environmental Health would lend
that's what I'm thinking.
Sound record. It is not unknown for them to actually walk up and down on the.
I'll have a chat with the guys at Environmental Health and just see if they can book in a visit for the weekend and they can do a random check.
Okay. Yes.
Just on
Andrew?
that one, the last few years when I've been walking down where you've got what used to be Shepherd's and they make coffee, when they have their outside bar on and both sides are playing music, when you're going down there, you can't hear yourself think. In fact, you could probably scream and not hear yourself.
You mean in Bees Knees and about coffee?
Is it? It's one of the. It's that area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Duke of Lancaster doesn't have an outdoor bar or music outside. It's Bees
It's
Knees
where
have
they've
an
got the
outdoor bar.
doors open with the
and-
music blaring.
Yeah.
Because I've walked past last year.
Not go in. Walk back.
Because I was like, because for me, health and safety has always been a big thing, especially on sites. And you've got people working on this bar, and you're thinking, you're going to be deaf. I need to just tone it down a bit. Like you say, if they've got the old sound recorder, whatever it is, they can
Yeah.
actually ask them to
Well,
turn
it
it
won't
down.
be that. Won't be that loud, will it? I mean,
Oh, it is. It has been.
yeah. Well, it's. Well, you just have to walk past, won't you? Can't hear it. Town Hall Bar.
That would come under the HSE anyway. If you're talking about employees who haven't much, well, they have a choice as to whether to stand there or not, but are forced. If they were all provided, if they were adhering to the rules and regulations, they'd all have ear defenders. Then they wouldn't be able to hear people having a drink.
Town Hall Bar.
So the town hall will be used again as an official fringe venue. So we'll have live music downstairs in the function room. We'll have the box office in the town hall again, as long as with a merch stall as well. It'll be a first aid point, security point, and a central point for event management. We'll have a bar on downstairs with a nice selection of ales and lagers, ciders, and all that fun stuff on. We'll also have a outdoor bar because we'll have live music outdoors as well, like we did last year. We trialled it last year and it worked really, really well. It helped we saw an increase in income from the bar outside, which was great. We're going to change it slightly this year. So last year we had outside the town hall, we had the bar, live music, and then a row of gazebos with benches and for people to sit on. This year we're going to have the bar and a row of gazebos with tables and benches in, and then across the road we're currently in discussion with St John's to see if we can build our temporary stage on their land, but build it up so it's level with the wall, so that the stage will pretty much be across from the bar, but it means we can put the stage in on the Friday, and then on the Saturday and Sunday it's ready. People aren't getting under gazebos with people playing on the stage, and it just creates a little bit of a safer environment for those that are performing on the outdoor bar, and I think it'll add quite a nice atmosphere to it as well.
How big will the stage be? Will it the one that you use up on Christmas?
No, so we currently store Barn Oldwick's stage, but we've bought our own sections to it, so and it's all compatible. So we'll probably have a 6 metre by 4 metre stage that'll be covered. So it's a big enough area for like Barrowfield Community Choir to perform on, and it's big enough for the duos and all the acts that we've got planned for the festival. But it makes it so we can get more people around the town hall area, because obviously the more people around here, the more money we're going to take, and it just saves us time in the morning not having to put the sound system in, take it out, because it will just stay there from the Friday and there'll be security on overnight just to make sure it's.
It'll only be during the day though, won't it?
Yeah, so we'll have music on from 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock, which is what the cut-off is, and obviously there'll be breaks in between.
Will that interfere with Mojo's and the stuff going on down here? Or is that more or less more in the night at the night?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have an impact.
Right. Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Yes, Andy?
Just, I'll take using the main entrance as entryway in, and then using somebody at the side for the ramp, because you've got the office, but for accessibility.
No, I think they'll be using.
So we'll have the double doors open at the front, and
Yeah.
when we put the gazebos out, we always leave a gap so people can see that's the entrance, which will have security on there, and then we have the bar in the staircase downstairs. And then the side door will be open as well, so people can come up the ramp, go into the box office, or those with accessibility issues, or people that have just gone the wrong way can then come into the function room as well, and there'll be a member of security there as well.
Yeah.
So both entrances will be open.
That's right. Thank you.
Item 11, Harris fencing.
So we had a email concern, we'll call it, from a resident at the Gables. Past number of years, she's emailed in like 2 days before the festival asking about why we fence off the War Memorial. And every year we've explained that we fence it off because we don't want people that are under the influence climbing on it, climbing on the roof of it, or doing anything to disrespect it. Or so she's emailed in this year, last week. I've advised I'll take it to the committee and see what the committee think. But she's asking, can we not fence it off? But obviously it's down for you guys to make a decision. Because
It didn't used to be fenced off when everything was down at the Munich, because there was always a lot of people down there. And somebody did, but somebody from, I think it was Alison Good, went and shouted at them and got them off. But we'll have a discussion. I think Alice put a bit, your hand up first. And we'll have to hear what Nina says.
I think it's a real shame that it's been fenced off. It looks pretty awful. One year there was a advertisement banner on it, which we got rid of quite quickly. But there's only been, I think, a couple of incidents, and then we react too much, and people do have respect. The majority of people, perhaps get rid of the poppies, but I would personally like to see it opened.
Right.
I was talking with Ian before the meeting about this. We actually had a group who insisted that we put something up to protect it. So if we go, it's basically two sides against each other. I think it should stay, because if it was to get damaged by people being drunk and disorderly, there'll be a bigger uproar than there is about us keeping it fenced off. Each year we see people, well, idiots, causing vandalism. Last year, someone decided to nick the drain pipe of the bus stop out across from the Muni. So why risk it?
Okay. Can I ask Nina?
You know, and again, just what he's just been saying, the only reason why it was fenced off in the first place, we had a lot of people complaining about others disrespecting the War Memorial. There's also another issue, whether we like it or not. If some drunken idiot decide to get themselves injured, maybe break the legs or something, we will get sued. Don't forget, in the past, we've had people who try to break into premises, fall through the roof, and have successfully sued the companies, because they committed a criminal act of being injured. That is the system we are living under. The criminals have more rights than the victims now. So the only way to prevent that is to screen it off. Also, if it's one person complaining and we do what they want, then there's going to be a lot more people saying that why are they being ignored? I think we should just go with the status quo and leave it. And if it's going to upset one person, tough.
Well, we've had this blues festival for 20 odd years and we've only just started fencing it off. That's all I'm saying. There are a lot more people previously down there than there are now. But Nina, what's your view?
It's my understanding that there was an incident and this is what caused it to be fenced off in the first place. But did that incident not occur before the Gables was renovated and became housing? You now have apartments and flats behind the War Memorial, which is a huge deterrent to someone committing unseen acts. There are people coming and coming and going into their homes. There are people around that area all the time, as opposed to there being a derelict building behind it. My personal opinion, and obviously I don't have a vote on this, but my personal opinion would be try it, take the fencing down. We have a lot of ex-forces, ex-military people in the town that see it. Every argument you've put could happen on 365 days a year. Admittedly, Blues Festival, you have more inebriated people in a confined area, but you know, let's give them some responsibility and see what happens. See if they can live up to that. And you know, if there is a problem, we can always resort to fencing it off again. And we have the argument as to why it gets fenced off again.
We do. Yes, and
Over the years, I've seen people down there sitting inside the memorial, drinking beer, drinking pop, having a sit down, having a relax. I've also seen it where people have been, like you say, climbing up, running around it. I've seen buskers in it, standing right in front of it, actually getting in there as well, because it's been raining. Now, for me, if we're going to barrier off a monument, because that's what it is, then the argument that could be put forward for it would be do it to every single wall, even the garden for the Titanic, because if somebody climbs the wall and fall off, they could hurt themselves. That's them, they're hurting themselves. Me personally would say have it open, because then people can look at it, they can see the names that are in there from those I've lost, from Colm. But I think it is a blight when you see sheet metal around it, and I think it puts a wrong message to visitors who may come back again. I'd rather people went in and looked at it. I'd rather people went up and had somewhere to sit down. Because sometimes you can think of it, it's an act of contemplation. It's to rest yourself. And I wouldn't put this argument of saying if somebody's going to climb on it, we'll get sued. We've got public liability insurance for that. That's what it's there for. So as a town council, we wouldn't end up getting, we're going to take, I don't know, £10 million off you. You're going to pay over 15 years. We wouldn't have that. We're showcasing Colne. It's not just the music festival, we're showcasing Colne. And I think we can't start hiding things behind fencing. There's something that's at the heart of this town. And like you say, there's a lot of veterans. There's a lot of military. So personally, I would say, leave it open. And that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm echoing what Councillor Bell has just said in terms of keeping it open. And my argument is it's the 80th anniversary of VJ Day. We've got people from all over the north, and other parts of the country. That war memorial is a site that needs to be seen, to be revered. Fencing it off or even messing it off obliterates the names that are on there of the fallen from Colne. We need to honour them with respect 365 days of a year. To fence them off for 3 days is disrespectful to the families, to the memories of those fallen. My feeling is no fencing.
Okay. Howard, did you want to say something? I thought you, sorry. Alice.
I can remember that we used to just put a polite notice next to it. And I think that's all that's needed. We could even, if we wanted to, put something about the 80th anniversary. If we wanted to do that, or just leave it as it is. But that's my view.
Jerry, it's one of those, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But I would err on the side of you quite often see a similar sign throughout the year in some places. Please respect this monument, memorial, call it, suitable words. Thank you very much. And that's it. And, if we're worrying about somebody tripping over it or something, well, it's their own. I'm sure when it got to court, the judge would, if he found in their favour, give them £1 compensation, because they shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. So and I think a lot of the tales of people falling through roofs and what have you are apocryphal anyway. So I'll move that we don't fence it this year. If it becomes a huge problem during the festival, I'm sure we can come up with something to. Yeah.
I mean, I've been coming since 1990 odd, when it were absolutely heaving and they were drinking, and I never saw any. I mean, I saw people just sat, not doing anything. But do we take a vote then? All those in favour of not, right? That's carried then. Okay. Yes.
As just an addition to that, is it possible, obviously you've got to take the barriers away, but to observe, and if there is a problem, then to put some form of barriers in place? Say that on the Friday we had a major issue with it, then on the Saturday or Sunday we could then put a barrier around it. That kind of a compromise.
No, I think
we just leave it, and if something goes wrong, we deal with it next year. That's fine.
Just to put a point there, it's like you say, we've got security who are going to be walking up and down. We've got council officers who are going to be walking up and down. We've got members from the Blue Society who are going to be walking up and down. We've got councillors who are going to be walking up and down. You know, veterans walking up and down. Will always be somebody who can say, if it's going to be somebody, it'll probably be an idiot from the town. If it's going to be anybody, I don't think it's going to be a major issue. I don't think it will be. And if somebody do see somebody, just shout up, come on, come off of that. Have a bit of respect. Same as the Titanic Memorial.
Right. Okay. Item 13.
Item 12.
Oh, 12, sorry. 12, update.
Not much more to report on as per our last meeting. We have got 2 more fringe venues that have come on board. One of which I'm quite excited about. We've got gyms back.
Wonderful.
Unbound Brewery has been doing some pop-up events in James Cafe, and they've agreed to do a similar thing for the Blue. So they're doing their Unbound Brewery pop-up at the brewery as they normally do, but they're also going to be running gyms as well. Other than that, as was last year, last meeting, we have the Fringe fully programmed, the main stage is fully programmed. We're just waiting for things to go wrong now so we can firefight them.
Thank you, Nina. It won't go wrong. Now, have you got people to help you? I know it's ended up with you and Simon doing most of it. Has anybody, other people, come on board and say, I'll do this for you, or I'll leave that to me?
Yeah, it's been very difficult finding jobs. What we tend to do, because of the insurance situation with volunteering, we tend to steer them towards volunteering for the festival generally. Finding someone that is well enough versed in what we do, that will actually help rather than hinder us when it's absolutely manic during that weekend is fairly difficult. We have got a couple of people that have come on board this year though, so fingers crossed there'll be a little bit more assistance this year.
Thank you. Item.
Just out of interest, I know we mentioned about radios between security, first aid, the officers from here. Are the people from the Blue Society also going to be on the same network? Are they getting radios? You're
No.
not.
I think if there's a problem with an artist or an outcome or something, or somebody tells me something, I'll go searching for him. That's what.
All I'm thinking is communication, because if you've got one of the venues that says we've got an issue, i.e.
Yeah.
somebody
But I would
turned up,
think like if the venue would know if they all have got Simon's phone number, if somebody doesn't turn up or
the
they
thing
ring up and
is,
said they delayed, you'll be able to.
all I'm thinking of is because last year I spoke to you and Simon afterwards, and Simon was saying he was literally running from venue to venue to venue to venue because he couldn't. But then you go into a venue, it's going to be very unlikely he's going to hear a phone ringing. But if he can use the same comms as what we've got, at least he can hear if there's any issues going on.
It's just something else to look at. Is we do communicate with Nathan, Gina, and ourselves. We do it on the mobile phones. We just send messages to each other so that when we've got a minute, we can deal with it. We work on the principle that there is no chance we're going to be on call like that over that weekend because we're all busy doing.
That's what I mean, because even with your team, then
It's just
if
not
they had
gonna happen.
communication, you won't say with radios. At
We
least
will deal with things as whoever gets to it first will deal with it.
because at the moment I'll take it. No, don't worry. It's all right.
We also don't want to put too many people on the radio frequency, because if you've got the security trying to get through to first aid, but then you've got somebody trying to get through to Simon, ultimately the incident that someone's requiring first aid would be a priority, but it could block you getting a message through as quickly as possible.
The thing with radios is you can actually have designated radio channels.
I think if everybody's got Simon's phone in the office, and that's where you'd go if there was some issue, wouldn't you? So you think you'd be able.
Simon is a bit difficult to pin down on that weekend. He does tend to move around quite a lot. I am chained to the bar at Voices. If you need to find a person to speak to, I will be there. I will be nowhere else.
Okay.
But you've got to buy a beer when you go in.
I thought it was free beer for us.
Howard, are you wanting to speak, Howard? No, you look like you will. The thing, yeah. Everybody okay with that? That we go and if we can't find anybody, that Nina will be in Voices by that. Item for future agenda. Anything is there? No. No. This is how many years is it now? 3 or 4? That you've been doing it. 3. I think we're pretty getting better at it.
Do just have a quick think, because the next meeting will be the last meeting before the festival. So if there is any items you want to discuss, please feel free to drop me an email. Just so the last meeting we're not all trying to get issues dealt with.
Yeah.
Just a quick one for you. I know you mentioned briefly earlier about the taxis. We know that every event, the taxis decide to park wherever they feel like, rather than going to the designated areas. I take we're going to have one down at the bottom. Are we having one at the top of the Newmarket area as a drop-off pick-up? Or is it just going to be a case of dropping on?
There'll be the temporary one at the bottom, and then the normal taxi rank in Hart Square will be open, because the road round past the market is open. We have got a ESAG meeting coming up next week, and it's all about the blues. So we'll be mentioning it then, that we need some assistance from taxi licensing.
Yeah, because we need to move them on, because every time we have a function, they'll just park up wherever they want.
Nina? Oh, is Howard first?
Remembered something that I should have mentioned earlier in my excitement about gyms. I forgot. We've also got Colne Library on board. Colne Library will be a blues official fringe venue for the Saturday. in association with their archiving of photographs. If anyone's been involved in that, they're celebrating all the photographs being digitised, and I think it's called Kelp, the project itself, and to celebrate it, they've become a fringe venue for Saturday. So we've got a solo artist performing inside Cone Library.
All right. Yes, it is. In Beauvais, we used to go, there was a big bookshop in and we had
As an aside, the first time we saw Dave Akari performing was in that very bookshop in Beauvais, which was mind blowing to say the least.
Probably won't be as loud as Dave Arcara. Yes, Alice.
I don't know whether this is for another meeting. Do we offer local businesses, especially those that sell food, outdoor pitches at all? Or can they trade out of their shops?
This is something we're discussing at the moment with environmental health and licensing, just because I know last year there was a couple of random pop-up food vendors, and out of the 5 that popped up over the weekend, not a single one of them were licensed for hot food takeaway. So it's something we are looking into, just because obviously we want to support the local businesses in the town, those that do food. We want to encourage as much footfall to them as possible, but then we've also got the official food vendor pitches where they're paying £1,200 plus for the weekend. So we're just looking at the logistics and what the food establishments in the town need to do to make sure that obviously they're following all the regulations to be able to get involved. Obviously, some won't, a small handful, as long as they've got the time to get everything sorted. I can't see it being an issue.
Andy?
Yeah, I think I know, because I was being asked last year about chasing a license up for, I think it was when we wanted to put a stall outside. And I just went, I have no idea how about to get this license. I don't know if you have to get a separate license because you're street trading or now with our, because obviously with it as the event, will they go through the Town Council if they wanted to, or is this speaking to Odge, or would it have to be a case of getting a temporary notice or a temporary license from?
It's a little bit of a strange one, because when we put a road closure in place, we've got full control of that event area. Yeah. We can dictate who trades on the street and who doesn't. So say, for example, if you had a local ice cream van that is not booked on to the event that tried getting trading in the road closure area, we could move them on. So this is what we're kind of looking at with Pendlebury Council, as obviously the local authority say issue licenses and they do all the documentation for traders. So this is what we're looking at to see what needs to be done, because obviously you don't want all the takeaways coming out onto the high street serving right outside the shops, and there'll won't be room for people to stand. So we are looking into who can get involved and what they need to do. Yeah. And then if we get any inquiries from local businesses, say for example the Thai restaurant down the road, if they want to get involved, we could then obviously point them in the direction of Pendle, because obviously we would offer consent for them to trade within the event area, but as long as they've got A, B, C and D sorted with Pendle, which obviously we work with the licensing officer and environmental health over the weekend as well.
Yeah, it's just like I say, the one that came last year was one of the public houses who was having music on, wanted to put a stall out the front of the door, but there was a bit of a confusion of where to go to get a license, or if they needed a license, or if they needed to come to here as well. Oh. So like I say, if it's being discussed, that's great. Thank you.
Well, is there a difference between just selling alcohol and food?
Say that again, sorry.
Well, if you were outside and had a bar outside your premises, but outside your premises and selling food, that'd be different, isn't it?
Different license. Yeah.
Nathan, just for clarity, so if you wanted to put a alcohol bar out from the street in front of your own bar, that would be a temporary events notice through the licensing officer, Wadge.
It would depend on what it states on the premises license. If they've
Yeah.
got the sale of alcohol on and off the premises on the license, then they can just do it. If they don't, they need to apply for a temporary events notice to licensing at Pendle.
If it was a food, so if it was a takeaway that wanted to put a little stall outside, would that be the same licensing process, or would it be a
A
different
stall selling food or drink.
food?
I think they would have to go through Wadget licensing.
It'd
Yeah.
be licensing. So basically, if anyone's asked that question of councillors or Cone Blue Society, they need to address it to Pendle licensing.
Yeah, because I believe there's a couple of complications in the sale of food outdoors, which is the licensing will work with environmental health to see
Yeah, because it is.
where it's all prepared and what
Yeah.
it's stored in whilst it's outside.
Just to actually then because you've got your personal license, haven't you? Because I know if you go for a premises license, it's within the boundary. So if you then say you're going outside on the footpath, I think that would have to be a temporary entertainment. So then I don't think your license would cover it, unless that, as Ian would say, up to the curbage or curbage. If that's your property, then you might have it.
The town hall's got a premises license because I've got my personal one, and we don't have to apply for a temporary events notice for the outdoor bar because on our premises license it states on and off the premises. Obviously, if we wanted to put a bar down outside Manor Properties, it wouldn't be allowed, but as long as it's outside the town hall building, then it's accepted.
That's where my confusion is, because if it's outside the premises, because like when you put your license in, it's within the boundary of the premises. But when it's for sale on or off premises, it's actually taking the alcohol off the premises. But if you actually got the bar on the footpath, I thought that might be a grey area, should we say?
When we questioned it with licensing last year, way in advance to see whether we need to put temporary events in, we got told because it's on our licenses on and off, as long as it's directly outside the venue and not a couple of doors down, then it's allowed.
When I was licensee a million years ago, for an event to have a on and off license, if I'm here, if this is my premises, I'm here. But if I want to go there, that's where my off license appears. But if I wanted to, and I could go outside, just outside, like we do here, outside my front door. But if I wanted an off license, it works separately. But you still have to apply for the land that you're going to use. That's where the extra legitimacy comes in.
I will double check with licensing, but from the conversation I had with him last year, we didn't have one for the bar outside last year. But I'll double check. I'll drop him an email.
Do if it's out, if it's food.
If it's food, then
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, have we got anything?
Sometime in August.
Yeah.
It's on the website.
Yeah. So Cone Library, when's that? What dates? The Saturday. Be nice if they have.
Very